All of us wants to be desired and all of us wants to be loved. But it often drives us to get attached with someone that we love, who we spend a great time together and look in each other's eyes and feeling each other's skin and laughing with some stupid jokes. But when these beautiful times are over, we find ourselves miserable and lonely. There was a woman who was very tall and very attractive and beautiful woman. And she had a lot of love life going on. She had a lot of story to tell. And one day she was invited to this friend of her party. And she met this gentleman who almost looked like a rock star. He was like really tall and handsome. And they started to have a chat and then they vibed together. And then eventually they started seeing each other every day and then become a couple. And she was so sure that this beautiful moment just stays forever. It was like the soulmate type of moment that she experienced. So she started to ignore the red flag, and she could have realized and actually acknowledged, but she didn't want to until she had to. And one day she was pregnant, so she started to feel pressured and really anxious and depressed. And then she came to a point where like, I need to tell him about I'm carrying the baby. So she told him about the baby, and she needed support. She needed the mental support to go through that. But he left with everything that he could find, and he left. Now, all of us have to go through this kind of experience, but every single one of us have to go through some experience. Feels like we left alone in the darkness. But even if we rise back again and swear to ourselves that, okay, I don't want to go through the same experience, somehow we attract the same type of person, the same type of scent, same type of personality, and end up having almost exactly the same scenario. Have you ever thought, why would you do that in the first place? Like, go into the same type of person and same type of experience over and over. Every time you had to go through this painful experience, and then you swear to yourself and to your friends, to your family, and like, fuck man, fuck woman, but end up finding yourself in almost exact same feeling and emotion and experience. That's because you accommodate your presence and your life to someone that you love at the moment. But also the fact that energetically you gravitate these kind of person over and over and over. Tony Robbins said there's 6 human needs, and one of them is actually the desire to be loved. And so in a human nature, love is everything. Love basically is everything that we see, we touch, we feel, we smell. And every single person in this planet needs to be loved, and we deserve to be loved, and we are the love itself. But the fact that you are attracting exactly the same type of person or same type of personality, person trait in an energetic level, that's what you get. And then your behavioral pattern hasn't changed. So how you react and how you respond onto these personality and then people are basically the same as you experienced in back then. Let me tell you something. I was eating dinner with someone that I loved. And it was a beautiful moment, as usual. We were eating something, sushi, and it was beautiful, laughing and listening to some music and having chat, making some jokes, looking at each other's eyes. Then we were just talking about something in future and what we want to do. And she said about something about marriage. And then I freaked out. And I remember myself, I couldn't hold, there's some urge and strong feeling within me, and I just couldn't control it. And I went to the kitchen and just literally hold a knife, and I was cutting something, but then I started crying. And that was one of the moments that I was introduced to some of the aspects that I couldn't see yet. And it almost felt like, she stepped onto the wounds with the heels. It was really painful. But I already started working on myself and facing myself, meditation and all the self-growth was on the way. I was in the process. So it was necessary to happen. So in that pain, I brought myself back to the present moment and asked myself, why am I feeling this way? And then I found out that it came from my childhood. It came from something that I experienced when I was young with my family. Actually, I received a lot of love, and I was blessed enough to be raised in a very good manner and everything. But, no one is perfect. And I think every family has certain things to overcome and to deal. In my case, that was one of the aspects that I need to work on. And it just happened to be unlocked in that way at the dinner. And sometimes those things are hard to deal with, especially when you're younger. You just carry it for a decade or two. And in my case, that was how it was revealed. That was how it was exposed to me. And obviously, the stronger you feel the connection, the love that you carry, it's harder to grasp. And it's harder to grasp about yourself or someone that you're actually in a relationship with. The hardest pill to swallow is that the love is often the best way to escape from facing yourself. And that's why we go for a drink. That's why we go get shit-faced. I mean, enjoying drink, it has nothing to do, nothing wrong with that. But if you're getting shit-faced, if you drink and drink and drink and find yourself in some different apartment, some random guy or girl next to you, or if you're just relying on substances to make yourself feel a little bit better, that means in some degree you're distracting yourself from not facing yourself. I'm not saying that it's easy to not to do those things and actually start facing yourself. It's not easy, but it's worth it. The more you position yourself in seeking and receiving validation and attention, you never really validate yourself because you don't have time to actually sit and reflect on yourself without any validation and attention from external world, but then validate yourself and accept yourself. Then okay, so should we just be alone and die alone? Well, if you're not Dan Cooper, then you probably should. I mean, all of us, in some degree, need to feel beloved, like Tony Robbins said. And I think it's a beautiful thing to be in a relationship. It's beautiful things to have someone who understand each other and who trust each other and who connect each other. I think that's where the being loyal comes. And to build something, it's a partnership. It's not like one relying on to another. It's a partnership to build something. And how do we do that? The answer is, it's quite simple actually. You gotta be the love who you need the most. You gotta stop escaping from something that you don't like to face, something that from the past, your trauma, your insecurities, your ego, whatever it is. You have to stop escaping and distracting yourself from it. You have to sit and face it. Get rid of everything that is distracting you. You need to stop dating. You need to stop all this scrolling TikTok. It fucks your brain up anyway. And understand what kind of person that you want to attract, what kind of person that you want to love, and be that person. Everything that you face, you gotta love them as well, because everything that makes up who you are, including all the past experience, is part of you. And if you can't love yourself, then nobody else can find a way to love you. You have to teach them, you have to show them how to love you, how to treat you right. Take this opportunity to realize you're the love who need the most. So with this said, I hope this video will encourage you to make a change, to start working on yourself. And I do have one-on-one coaching available for 2 or 3 new people. And if you're interested, I put the link down below. Other than that, hit the subscribe and notification bell. I'll see you in the next video. Ciao.